Once your school's account has been created, the first step is to add students. To do so, click on the Home page's Add Students button, shown here, which will take you to this page where you'll be able to enter as many students as you wish. Let's look at this page in a bit more detail. Every row represents a student. You are shown 5 rows by default, and you can keep on adding rows by clicking on the Add 5 More Rows button, which will automatically add 5 more rows at the bottom. There are 2 required fields that have to be filled up for each student: the name and the email. The name will make it easy for you to identify your students when trying to follow their progress and statistics. The email is used as a way of authenticating every student and saving their results on an individual basis. The email doesn't need to be the real student's email. It can be any email the school chooses to give to enable the student to access the platform. This way, the school doesn't need to worry about data protection issues, as we will not have access to the student's real emails. However, it is important to mention that we do not use any of the data entered by the schools for any purpose. Even when the schools register their students, we will not send them any emails. We leave the task of communicating the student's login details to the student to the school. At no point do we send any information to any student. A default password will be issued to the student when the school registers the student, and the student will be required to change this password the first time they access the platform. You can organize every student you enter by levels, which will make it easier to search for any of them. To do so, click on the Select Exam field and select any of the options displayed. You can also choose which exams the student has access to. By default, they get access to all the exams. But let's say, for example, you only want to give a certain student access to the PET exams. You can click on this button and only select the PET exam, which means the student will only have access to the PET exam. Let's say you want to give another student access to only the FCE and CAE exams. So you click on this button and select FCE and CAE. This student will then only have access to those exams' content. The last optional field is used to classify a student in a certain classroom. By clicking on this classroom field, you can select whatever classrooms you want to add the student to, and he will be automatically added when registered. We cover how the classroom feature works in another video. I have to mention that to be able to add a student to a certain classroom, the classroom has to have been previously created. Please go to this address to learn about how classrooms are handled. Once all the students' information has been entered, click on the Add Students button. The students will then be added to your school's account. To access the list of your students, please click on My Students link on the left menu as shown here. The next time you want to add students, you can either click on the home page's direct access as we showed at the beginning of the video, or click the Add One or More Students button in the My Students page.